Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for Coffee and Card at Home. So this week we are on week 2 using the Handmade Wishes stamp set, which I'm really enjoying using actually, and it's so lovely that it's got the punch, the Handmade Tag punch that goes with it. And today we're making our own background using some of the small images that are in the set. So I'm focused on the Christmas tree and the heart, but obviously there are other things. So you've got the little holly and the gingerbread man as well, so you could really have a go at a few different versions if you wanted to. And although it looks quite involved, it doesn't take as long as you'd think. So the key thing that we do need is we need a ruler though, so you're going to need to grab yourself one of those as well. So we're using a red card base. This is real red, and it's half of an A4 sheet, so 14.8 centimetres, and then it's scored at 10.5 centimetres. And I'm just going to get the fold burnished for now, but I will leave that till the end because that's kind of one of our last steps. And then I've got a piece of basic white cardstock which measures 14.3 by 10 centimetres, so it's going to only give us a small border of the red all the way around. And then you're also going to need a scrap of basic white for your sentiment in a minute, so you will need that as well. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to get a pencil and a ruler. I'm going to line up my piece of card. I'm going to make sure that the top of it is in line with my grid paper. And then I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 and mark it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And if you haven't got grid paper, the Stampin' Up grid paper, then it's roughly for the spacing about 2 centimetres apart. So I'm going to do the same on the other side. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 and mark it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So you've just got those little marks either side now. So you can take your ruler. If you haven't got a ruler to hand, you could use something with a straight edge on it. If you think you could do it by eye, then don't bother using a ruler. Personally, I don't trust myself with that, so I would rather use the ruler to keep it nice and straight. I should have one more line to do. There we go. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our images. So like I say, I've got my Christmas tree and my heart, and I'm using real red and I'm using old olive. So I'm going to have them open at the same time. And on my other cards, I decided to do a row of Christmas trees and then a row of hearts. But I think what I might do this time is I might alternate them. So you're going to leave a bit of spacing between them. So I'm going to start with my Christmas tree, and then I'm going to do my heart. Now I'm doing my top line first of all to try and get my spacing correct. And then once I've got that in place, you'll see that I can then just do all of my trees and all of my hearts. Don't worry too much if it's not perfectly straight or perfectly stamped. Oops, don't do what I've just done and put the wrong thing on the wrong colour. So let me just clean off my heart. Right, red heart. This is where you have to be concentrating. There we go. So now I've got all of those in line, I can do my alternating now. So I'm going to do all of my trees here under my hearts. And also, if you didn't want it to be too uniform, you could also just go completely random and create a totally random pattern. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. So you'll see what I'm doing at the moment is I'm leaving my gaps now for my red hearts to go into. There we go, so that's all my Christmas trees done. And then I'm going to just move my green out of the way for a minute so I don't do what I did a few minutes ago. Now I'm going to position all my hearts in the gaps. So like I say, the other one I did it so that they were all in line. This one I've done it so that they are alternating. So you're going to see a slightly different effect with this one. Last one. There we go. Right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to draw my lines in. Now, if you want to, you could use the ruler and just draw it in. You've got the choice of the fine end or the thicker end. So again, it's going to give you a different look depending on what you do. Or you could go freehand, so just use the pencil line to help you. So that's what I decided to do. So I've used the thick end, and you're just going to try and follow the line as carefully as you can. Try to keep it so that you don't remove your pen if possible. And also, if you go quicker, it tends to keep it straighter. If you slow down, that's when you start getting wobbles. There we go. So we're going to get that stuck onto our card base now. So I've just stuck that down with Tombow. And like I said earlier, this one is only going to give you a small bit of the red showing. And then I'm going to take my scrap of basic white and we're going to get our sentiment stamped. So again, with this one, you can see I have got this outline, and you can stamp this either way around so that you can either have it that way or you can have it that way. Obviously, it's going to give you a different look depending on what you do. It fits into the stamp, into the punch better this way, but it may not be the way around you want it. So just bear that in mind. And then I'm also going to stamp the Christmas across the middle in green, because the nice thing about this set is you've got Christmas separate, and then you've got Happy and Merry separate. So you can do them in different colours. So I'm going to take my Merry now, and I'm going to stamp that one in red, just above Christmas. And then just because I've got this gap here, I'm just going to stamp a heart. Okay. And that is all of our stamping done. So I'm going to take the punch now, and I'm going to punch that out. Now my card is a little bit on the small side, so I'm just going to take a post-it note that I can just attach on there to help me to hold it. So it's a little tip that I've mentioned a few times. If you can't hold it very easily because your card's a little bit small, if you attach a post-it note to it, it just helps you to hold on to the bit of card a bit better. So the next step is we're going to get that stuck on. Now I had a little bit of a blemish over here where my heart didn't quite print properly in some of my trees, so I'm going to put my sentiment on that side. So it's a good opportunity to cover over bits you're not so happy with. So we're just going to stick some dimensionals on the back of this. So because of the shape of it, it works out with about 5, 1 in each of these points and 1 in the middle. Okay, and then like I say, I just want to kind of cover that little bit over. And then the final step is we're just going to add a bow. So I'm using this white natural ribbon. It's the woven ribbon. It is a little fiddly to work with, I will be honest about that. So if you can have a good idea of how big you want your loops on your bow to be before you actually tie it, it will help. Whoops, I'm going to start again. It's quite tricky to tie bows with, so I think it almost suits other projects a bit better than this really. But the thing that you'll probably find is it's quite tricky to alter the size of the loops, so just bear that in mind when you're doing it. Because normally I would hold on to my knot and then adjust my loops slightly, but it's not ever so easy to do that. And also it does fray on the ends quite easily as well, so just be aware of that. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and find what I've done with them, just to attach that. So I'm just going to put a glue dot on the back of my knot, and then I think I'm going to go with it on the bottom for this one. So if I just bring back my others, you'll be able to see the difference. So those ones obviously got different positioning of my sentiment there to those ones. I've also obviously put those two on the side, and then the background for these, you can see these I've kept them in line, but this one I've alternated them, so you can have a play around. Obviously, like I say, you can use different images. You could obviously have a go with different colours as well, different ribbon, so it's quite a nice kind of card that you could make quite a few of, but change each one slightly. So just a quick recap of what we've used. We have used the Handmade Wishes stamp set with the Handmade Tag punch. We've used real red and old olive ink, and we've put everything onto a real red card base. I've used the woven ribbon here, and just for an extra bit of detail, we used the red Stampin' Right markers just to draw our lines. And obviously the other key bit of information is you would benefit from using a ruler as well. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that video. If there's anything that you need any help with, please do drop me a message, and if you'd like to order anything, get in touch as well and I can add that onto an order for you. So next week we may be meeting on Monday, or we may not. It has been declared as a bank holiday to mark the funeral of our Queen, so we are in the middle of deciding whether we're meeting for a Zoom session or not. So if we do, my video will be posted as normal at 8:30 on my Facebook page. If we don't meet in the morning, then we will miss a week and we'll do 2 designs the following week. So I'll keep you posted on whether that's happening or not. Anyway, have a great week, and I shall see you next week or the week after for our next 2 designs. Take care, have a good week, bye.